Good afternoon, Crusaders. Sorry about all that. You'll get some context for that in a few minutes. But it's wonderful that we're all together here. Those opportunities have been few and far between this year, but it's been great to celebrate Mass together in the gym for Catholic Schools Week. I'd like to go ahead and thank Mr. J, Teresa, Father Alec, Jack Mickle, our tech guys for all their efforts during Mass. Also, we'd like to say hi to all of our students attending virtually today. We had a lot of students who participated in Mass via Zoom this afternoon, and we also wanted them to share in the recognitions that we're going to deliver this afternoon. So first of all, we wanted to celebrate an achievement that's community-wide. And I thought that Mr. Romano's remarks last week were extremely thoughtful and captured perfectly how moved he and the rest of the community were by the efforts from the student body raising funds for Becca Barrett. Following the first Dress Down Day, your efforts sparked a movement that resulted in over $3,000 in additional funds being raised to help cover future medical expenses. Your actions illustrate the influence students possess while demonstrating that Bishop Canevin students lead by example. We also should recognize the efforts of Mr. Romano, Mr. Rakowski, Mr. Ellis, and Mr. Baker, because of them, the wheelchair is not only here, but assembled and ready to transport to Becca. But first, we wanted you to share in the fruits of this movement. So if you take a look over underneath the basketball hoop, there's Becca's wheelchair. And again, $5,000 were raised, $3,000 above what was the goal. So how about a round of applause for Bishop Canevin and the students? This initiative is one of many examples of Bishop Canevin community members actively living our school's mission. In December, a committee of educators from the Middle States organization participated in a virtual visit to evaluate Bishop Canevin and determine whether or not the school should receive its accreditation. The visit is the culmination of a time-consuming 7-year process. At the conclusion of the visit, the team leader delivers a report to the community that consists of recommendations, commendations, and helps the school chart its course for the future. As our most important community members, the faculty, internal coordinators, and Middle States planning team believe that you should be present for the remarks from the visiting team. So behind me is Dr. Suzik, who is the head of school at the Falk School and also served as our Middle States visiting team leader, and he'll be delivering his remarks about Bishop Canevin High School.
Good afternoon, Bishop Canevin High School. I hope everyone's having a great week, especially since you are all in a double bonus situation right now. It's Catholic Schools Week and it's Groundhog Day all at the same time. As you just heard, my name is Dr. Jeff Suzik, and I'm the director of the Falk Laboratory School, which is at the University of Pittsburgh. You might not know this, but Pitt is one of a small number of universities nationwide that actually has an elementary school on its campus. Most of the students at Falk, more than half, I'd say, have parents who are staff or faculty members at Pitt. And our job at our school is, of course, to educate them. But it's also designed to provide opportunities for professors to research new educational trends and for student teachers in the School of Education to learn their craft as future educators. So in many ways, we're a very different place than Bishop Canevin is. But there's something we have in common with your school. We are accredited by the Middle States Association Commission on Elementary and Secondary Schools. Bishop Canevin and Falk are both schools that exist independently outside of the public school system, of schools that are funded mostly through taxes and are administered through school districts. Because we're independently structured and governed, we're required to go through an independent accreditation process every 7 years. And this is where the Middle States Association comes in. Basically, you can think of accreditation as a really big test that schools have to take once a decade or so, and if we pass, we get to stay open. I'm being a little silly, as you might guess, but it's actually much more than that. Your teachers and administrators have been working really hard for about 2 years now. They've been studying and analyzing your school and your community. Meetings have involved members of the Bishop Canevin Board of Directors, parents, alumni, and even some of you as students. Your school has been required to submit many documents and complete many written reports. Along the way, they also had to start working with me, as I was assigned as an administrator at a peer Middle States accredited school to serve as the chair of the visiting committee. You see, this is an incredibly important part of the accreditation process. Fellow educators from schools in the Middle States Association are the ones who come to see if the school is worthy of remaining accredited and whether or not it should continue operating. In an ideal world, one without COVID, we would have done all of this in person, and you would have seen us in your building for 3 or 4 days this fall, and you would have experienced us popping in and out of your classrooms to get a sense of how kids learn and how teachers teach at Canevin. But as you know, this is not typical times. So like many other things in our lives right now, my team of 3 educators and I, all of who have had experiences with Middle States accreditations at our own schools and in our own communities, met with the Canevin community mostly virtually. And while it was great in many ways, and we walked away very impressed with so much that we had experienced, it certainly couldn't compete with the pleasure we would have gotten if we had been able to be with you in your community in person, just like right now for me. The accreditation process through Middle States is both vast and it's complex, as it should be, because it's the job of a visiting committee to evaluate and then decide if students, all of you, are getting everything you need from your school. There are 12 different standards that an accredited school must pass in order to continue operating. And they range from everything from facilities and maintenance to curriculum, student clubs, organizations, finance, budget, health and safety, and many other things. And if that wasn't already enough, schools also have to present what is called a plan for growth and improvement that lists major initiatives that the school will tackle in the next 7 years and that it is able to measure the positive outcome of to prove that they've been accomplished. Like I said, it's a very, very involved and complex process. And you should be proud of all of the caring and committed adults in the Bishop Canevin community who worked so hard and did so much to put everything together for this process. When you have a chance, you should thank them in person. Or you can thank them on Zoom, depending, since, well, you know, COVID. Perhaps the most important thing to come out of any Middle States accreditation visit is whether or not the visiting committee believes that the school should be re-accredited. Our job was to make a recommendation to Middle States based on our observations, our careful readings of your documents and your reports, and of our overall feeling about the school and community. It's my sincere pleasure then to share with you this morning that the committee and I were unanimous in our assessment that Bishop Canevin High School deserves to be fully accredited, with no negative stipulations and no major concerns for another 7 years. And this is the recommendation that we provided to Middle States when we submitted the final report to them on Monday of this week. Of course, any report like this is going to include both things that are positive and should be commended, and things that the school and community also should work on over time to show their commitment to perpetual improvement and their desire for excellence in all things. Today, I'd like to share with you a few of the things that we on the committee found to be most exceptional about your school, as I think that would be a really great way to celebrate Bishop Canevin during Catholic Schools Week. When the visiting committee and I met with groups of Canevin people back in December, And this applied to students, teachers, administrators, parents, staff, board members. We almost always asked you to identify what you saw as the primary strengths of your school. And nearly all of the responses can be summarized by a single word: community. I can tell you that many of our schools talk about being a community, but Bishop Canevin High School is especially strong in this regard. It should go without saying that we saw a great number of things that deserve top-line shout-outs, aspects of your school that are particularly laudable and that deserve special attention being drawn to them. So here's a short list of those things. Number one, the thoughtful, deliberate, and noticeable ways that Bishop Canevin expresses its faith-forward, faith-centered approach to students and your development. This is something that infuses nearly every aspect of your school and your community. Meditations on faith are present in the curriculum, the student activities and athletics programs, in your house system, and in the mission, vision, values of the schools and your families, all of you. Number two, there seems to be a growing emphasis at your school that's placed on reaching all of your needs as students, both you as learners and you as people. This is evident in the warm and relational relationships that exist between you and your teachers. And it's also present in your school's commitment to better differentiating classroom instruction and to serving what we in the educational world would call the whole person. Cura personalis in Bishop Canevin terms. Number three, your school has been investing in some awesome new learning spaces for you. In particular, your beautiful model classrooms, your new broadcast studio, your innovation lab, and the new fitness and wellness center. These are really amazing things that your school has provided for you, and we think that you deserve a shout out for this. And finally, number four, your school has been incredibly thoughtful, well planned, and has had a carefully executed approach to COVID-19 and to all of the safety protocols that go along with that. And this has allowed you as a community to operate in person 5 days a week this year for all of the families and students who want or need it. And at the same time, you've offered a distance-only platform for those families who want or need that. Not all schools have been able to pull this off, but Canevin has. That's pretty impressive. You know, it's clear that there's a lot to celebrate and there's a lot for you to be proud of. Can I just tell you that you are really fortunate to attend such a warm, such a wonderful school. So I'd like to leave you today with one final thought. All four of us who served on this Middle States Visiting Committee, I think, completed our time with your community back in December feeling confident that the good people of your school and the equally good people who make up the greater Bishop Canevin community care deeply about and are seeking the best for you, the students who are served there. We also left convinced that when people of goodwill, and that's who the people of Bishop Canevin are, come together for the sake of the young people who are in their care, mountains can be crossed, rivers can be bridged, differences can be healed, and obstacles can be overcome. You, the fine people of Bishop Canevin High School, all of you, faculty, staff, and students, parents, board members, alums, have confirmed this belief in us. You have got what is undeniably a very good school. Our challenge to you, all of you together, students too, is to now make it into the absolutely great school that both you and we believe it can and should be. A special shout out and thanks to Mr. Joyce, Ms. Rossi, and the entire Bishop Canevin community for inviting me to speak to you today. I hope you have a really great rest of your Catholic Schools week. Bye.
Okay, so we again, believed that it was important that we gather together and hear those remarks and really celebrate during this time, during Catholic School Week, how truly blessed we are. Blessed to have those facilities, blessed to have the faculty, but most importantly, blessed to have you, our outstanding student body. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Now, while the Middle States visit was brief, the planning and preparation for the visit was extensive and time-consuming. Keeping us on task was a team of internal coordinators who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. After Mrs. Liptak's departure last February, our number of internal coordinators was reduced to 2. However, both Mrs. Rossi and Mr. Casavell persevered. This visit was scheduled and rescheduled 3 different times, and they continued displaying a positive attitude and a willingness to be flexible, modeling behavior for students and faculty alike. As a small token of gratitude and appreciation, Bishop Canevin would like to recognize the efforts of both Mrs. Rossi and Mr. Casavell. And if both of those, Mrs. Rossi and Mr. Casavell, would come up, we have a gift for them. Not real sure what Mrs. Rossi is uttering underneath that mask. But congratulations and thank you so much to both of you. There they are, wonderful internal coordinators, everybody. We'll see if we can get them on board for the 2027 visit. Listening to those remarks, I'm most proud that it was apparent to the committee that our mission is evident in all aspects of the Bishop Canevin community. There are many contributing factors, including our dedicated faculty, history, culture, but most importantly, our student body. Today, during Catholic Schools Week, we are announcing our next recipient for the AMDG Award, an award that recognizes students who do all things for the greater glory of God, by representing Bishop Canevin with distinction academically, personally, socially, and spiritually. Our newest recipient has excelled in the classroom, earning high honors each quarter she's been at Canevin. A talented artist, she has earned the Art Departmental Award as both a 10th and 11th grader, and has been recognized outside of Bishop Canevin for her artistic ability. This year, she utilized her talents to create the Bishop Canevin Christmas card. On the athletic field, this season she served as a captain of the Lady Crusader soccer team that completed one of the finest seasons in school history, going undefeated in the regular season. This will be her 4th year participating in stage crew. She's an active member of the St. Ignatius Scholars Program. She's also involved with Circle of Friends, the International Club, and has represented Bishop Canevin both as a student ambassador and member of Junior Achievement. Please join me in congratulating our newest AMDG recipient, Erin Egan. And we've also invited Erin's family to come in today. I don't know if you knew that, but your mom and dad are here, so they can come on up to the front and get your picture taken with our newest recipient. Congratulations, Erin and the Eagles. I'm sure they love taking that picture in front of everybody. Now, while Erin has excelled in her artwork, we also want to take the opportunity to recognize a student recently recognized for her writing talents. Renee LaGrosse was recently notified as a winner of 2 awards given by the 2021 Scholastic Art and Writing Contest, presented by the Western Pennsylvania Writing Project and the University of Pittsburgh School of Education. An 11th grade honor student at Bishop Canevin, Renee won a silver key for her poem, No Art Lasts Forever, and an honorable mention for her poem, Toxic Times. Since 1921, the awards have recognized some of America's most celebrated artists and writers while they were still teenagers, including Stephen King, Andy Warhol, and Joyce Carol Oates. Due to COVID, the Writing Project will be unable to host a regional ceremony, but Renee's remarkable work was recognized by a panel of creative professionals as the most outstanding submitted among her peers. Because of this, Renee received certificates of recognition and has been invited to apply for the Scholastic Arts Scholarship. Bishop Canevin was the only diocesan high school named among the regional winning schools. We'd like to present Renee with 2 certificates to recognize her achievement. Renee LaGrosse, everybody. Renee, please come on up. Got to congratulate Renee. She's being recognized by the University of Pittsburgh with her Duquesne Sweatshirt. The Catholic School Research Training. Finally, it's my privilege to call up Mr. Checkins, not because of his TikTok skills. Boy, everyone's in for a treat later this week. But to award student certificates for fall athletes and present our championship medals to the Lady Crusader volleyball team and coaching staff. Mr. Checkins.
All right, so, hi, how are we? So, here we are, all gathered in the gym. And typically, throughout the fall, this place is hopping with multiple sports and everything like that. But this fall saw something completely different. We didn't have any fans in the gym till the last week of the season. We had very few fans in our stadiums because of COVID. But as a school, I can tell you that I couldn't be prouder of this long list I've got here of individual student athletes who have earned various awards throughout that trying time in the fall. Here we are in the winter, looking back. And with that said, numerous teams have numerous individuals that deserve recognition today. So we're going to go through those. We'll call you up. There'll be a certificate up here for everyone that is on this list. There may also be a separate award as well, depending on the sport that was played. So we're going to begin with football. Named second team all-conference, Willie Banks Hicks. Some of these people are virtual, so we may not actually have them up here at this time. Second team all-conference football, Alex Brooks. Second team all-conference football, Jaden Collins. Second team all-conference football, Xavier Nelson. And second team all-conference football, Jaden Torres. Next team we'll recognize is boys soccer. Boys soccer has Joe Brooks as an honorable mention all-section team member. And boys soccer also has Jack Staley as an all-section award winner as well as an all-Whitfield member of the soccer team. The girls soccer team had an undefeated section championship this year and has a number of young ladies that have earned all section honors as well. We'll begin with senior Sarah Barron, all section girls soccer. Erin Egan, all section girls soccer. Lauren Kirsch, girls soccer, all section. Abby Sizik, girls soccer, all section. And lastly, Ainsley Smith with all section and all Whitfield girls soccer accolades. Girls volleyball had a number of girls earn all team sections and as well as state representatives. We're going to go through those individual awards first, and then we'll come back to present that team with their championship medals. So, Mia Altman, second team, all section. Jillian Golubsky, first team, all section. With your AMDG and All-State Award winner. Sonny Jones, first team all section, all Whitfield, first team. Kira Kozlowski, first team all section, all Whitfield, first team, as well as all state honors. Aaron LaQuatra, first team all section, all Whitfield, first team. Abby Maziarz, first team all section, all Whitfield, as well as all state. Britannia Taylor, second team all section, third team all Whitfield. And Olivia Thomas, first team all section, second team all Whitfield. Okay. Got it. Okay. The next portion is for Whitfield medal presentations. So at this time, if you can please put your hands together for Aaron LaQuatra, who was a Whitfield Class A medalist in cross country this past fall. The last portion of this medal presentation is something that is rather special and kind of emotional for me. Today we're joined with our former head coach, Kevin Walters' wife, Janet. Janet, if you could please stand up for 1 second, please. Coach Walters was with us for a very long time and had a tremendous impact on numerous ladies and boys that have come through this school. And this past fall, this team lost their head coach the day before the WPIL championship. And Mrs. Walters lost her husband. And that was just a very heartbreaking day for a lot of people. And this group of young ladies that we're about to recognize truly embody what Coach Walters instilled in them. And as a result, went out the next day and won a WPIL championship. And it was probably the most mixed emotions I've ever seen a group of young ladies or men, as well as grown adults, have in a 24-hour period. But today I want to say a special thank you to Mrs. Walters for allowing Kevin to be part of our family for all those years and all the time he spent with us. And I want you to know, from Bishop Canevin to you, you'll always be a part of our family, and our doors are always welcome to you anytime you want to come in. Thank you. As I said, that next day, these young ladies went out and won a WPIL championship. And the weirdest part of that day was right after we won, they tried to give us a fake trophy. Because of COVID, they didn't have the trophy. And so these young ladies never got the opportunity to celebrate with their medals, with their trophy that they earned, with their classmates. In our office, Mr. Bearcat does a great job of kind of keeping me up to date on history of things, but also has some really neat pictures of our girls over the years who got the opportunity to celebrate with all their classmates. And while it might look a little bit different today with us being spread out like this, the one thing I can ask out of all of you is give them everything you got, because this is their celebration. And it's not only a celebration of them, but it's a celebration of us as a school, because all of you, many of you, are student athletes here who represent us across numbers of sports. And the stuff that we achieve as a collective school is remarkable, and I couldn't be prouder of all of you. So without further ado, we're going to go through the roster. Numerical order, sorry ladies. And when we call you, please come up, Mr. Joyce. If you could please hand the medals to our two coaches who stepped in so that they can take and give the girls their 2020 WPIL gold medals. So first up, number 1 on the roster, junior Aaron LaPlatra. Number 2, freshman Ella Whalen. Number 3, Libby Hitching. Number 4, Mia Altman. Number 5, Ava Gaydens. Number 6, Abby Maziar. Next up is one of the first seniors here who is the honor to walk out of here saying that they are a 4-time WPIL champion. That is number 8, Jillian Golubsky. Next up, we have another senior member that has earned 4 WPIL championships. That is number 10, Rutanya Taylor. Next, we have number 11, Kira Kozlowski. Next, we have number 12, Sonny Jones. Number 13, Kyla Hart. Toyo. Number 14, Junior Bella DeMarc. Another one of our seniors, number 15, four-time Mobile champion, Isabel Biegner. Number 16, Hallie Bergman. Number 19, Olivia Thomas. The last of our four seniors, number 21, Natalie Zerbola. And number 22, Sophie Maida. The last couple of medals are reserved for the coaching staff, who did a tremendous job this year, coordinating everything with Coach Walters, all the way through seeing this team as a PIAA semifinalist. The job that these two young ladies have done has been remarkable to look back now at this time. So first we have assistant coach Danelle Wagner. Assistant coach Angela Wyman. He's jumping the gun. And our last medal will go to Mrs. Janet Walters as a memento for what Kevin Walters has done over his time here. That medal is meant for you and your family. And congratulations. And with that, Mr. Joyce, if you could pass that trophy over to those young ladies that they finally can celebrate with. Your 2020 WPIAL champions, the Bishop Canevin Lady Crusaders.
Ian, unmute the mic. Unmute the mic.
Okay, how about a round of applause for all our award recipients today? Volleyball, AMDG, I also want to congratulate everyone on a successful second quarter. We had about 75% or 3/4 of our student body who earned honor or high honors distinction for second quarter. That's amazing under these circumstances, so keep up the good work for the second semester. At this time, we are going to dismiss